Hey there, creative. Shannon here from the Pigeon Letters Design Team. And today we're going to be using one of my favorite color palettes to create some beautiful watercolor lettering. And then we're going to add some embellishments and a vibrant background all around. So let's get started with the supplies that you will need. So you'll need watercolor paper or at least mixed media paper, watercolors in rainbow colors, two paintbrushes, one large and one small. I'm using the Pigeon Letters round 2 and round 10 brushes. You'll also need a gray marker for adding your shadows, monoline pens for outlines, a white paint or gel pen for highlights, masking or washi tape to secure our painting and create a nice white border, and you will also need some tissue or some Q-tips. To start this off, you're going to use a pencil to lightly sketch your lettering onto your paper, or you can use a light gray marker to write out your lettering if you would prefer. So once your paper is all set up, now we can start painting. So you're going to start with your small paintbrush and begin to write out your first few letters. I'm using two colors to write each letter, but another fun way to create rainbow lettering is to just alternate the colors of each stroke. You can start painting with any color that you want, but in order to avoid creating muddy blends, I would suggest that you add your colors next to each other in rainbow order. So that means adding a pink next to an orange or a green in between a yellow and a blue, just so that nothing gets too muddy or overpowering. And you'll also need to remember to clean your paintbrush whenever you switch to a new color to avoid cross-contamination in your palette. So now we're going to add our texture. You're going to use a Q-tip to lift some of the color from your letters. The Q-tip will absorb the color from the areas where you place it, leaving a very light shade of your color or even white. Of course, if you lift too much color, you can just pick up more on your paintbrush and fill in that spot. Another way to create texture is to use some paper towel to just dab some areas across your letters to pick up color. This method is a little less precise than using the Q-tip, since the dabbing of the paper will cause the paint to be pushed outside of your letters a bit. I personally like the look it creates. This is a completely optional step because I know not everyone will like to create this distressed look, but definitely give it a try and see how it goes for you. So continue to add your colors until you've written out the entire phrase that you're working on, and then I will see you back here once the letters are completely dried. Now that my letters are completely dry, I'm using a light gray marker to add a shadow on the right side and the bottom of each letter. This will help to add some dimension to these letters and help them to stand out from the background after we add it. Then you are going to use your monoline pen to outline each of the letters. Then I used the same monoline pen to add a black shadow to each letter. Once the shadows and outlines are done, we can now move on to painting the background. Use masking or washi tape to mask a border around your paper. This area will remain white once we have finished adding our colors. Then you're going to grab a pencil and draw an outline all around your lettering. Try to leave an even amount of white space all around the words as you go. Once you're finished with your border, you can now start to add color to the background. As you add your colors, remember to keep them in rainbow order so that they blend well together and don't create any muddy blends. So I started with my pink, then I added some orange next to it, then I add some yellow next to that, and I'm not focused on blending the colors. I'm going to allow them to blend on their own on the paper. I also kept my colors away from the pencil border because I'm using a large brush for this step and I don't want the colors to go over that line that I drew. After I finished adding this first set of colors, I'm going to allow the background to dry completely. Then once my first layer of the background has dried, I am going to use my smaller paintbrush to paint along the pencil border so that I can keep that line very crisp. And I'm going to also add any colors across the background in any areas where I feel need a little bit more coverage. Then you're going to allow that background to dry completely and use your white gel or paint pen to add highlights to your letters and also to add some dots and stars across your background if you like. Then you can remove your tape and your magical rainbow artwork is done. I hope you enjoyed creating this with me today. And as always, feel free to share your creations over on Instagram. You can tag me because I would love to see how your work turned out.